Well, okay, I'm back. This is literally on the same day as the last video. It's just a different time. I have my peanut butter. I have my soup. Oh yeah, the freaking art thing. I'm gonna get my blanket. I was gonna start making fart noises, but based on that look on your face, that joke isn't gonna play well with this crowd. Wise. We watch the rest of the performance as earnestly as we can, and clap politely after the dancers scream their way off stage. Phew. I think I'm all arted out. Agreed. We all decide to walk home together. We make our way back to the cul-de-sac. Tiny wine and tiny cheese sloshing around in my stomach. I think what I've learned tonight, and not just what I've learned about art, which is nice and extremely informative, but what I've learned tonight is that when you put a bunch of tiny wine and tiny cheese together, it eventually becomes regular wine and regular cheese, followed by too much wine and too much cheese. The tiny cheese lulled me into a false sense of security. I feel safe with the tiny cheese. Wax wings are too close to the sun. Cheese wings, those would melt in the sun too, and I feel like it's more appropriate imagery. Plus, it'd be delicious. A nice imagery. Imminenthary. I don't know, possibly. Hey, if you guys were painters, what would you paint? I'd actually dabble oils. I mostly paint landscapes. I'm not very good. But it's a nice way to pass the time. I think I would focus on personal portraits of people in unique professions. Like, for example, luchdators. I think I'd paint boats, seascapes, maybe some lighthouses, mostly boats. Really? Yeah, I'm surprised you're choosing boats in favor of a long history of religious imagery in artwork. What? Boats are cool. What about you, Derek? Tasteful news of the artist. I guess I'd go with landscapes. I think I'd examine a lot of beautiful imagery and recapture it in the canvas, just like it's gonna be like butts. This gives me a high five. We finally get to the cul-de-sac. Alright, boys, good art. Good art. Agreed. See you guys around? Whether you want to or not, we're all neighbors. We're all neighbors after all. I head inside to deal with my inevitability cheese over. You lactose intolerant? I mean, my mom's lactose intolerant, and I know people who are lactose intolerant. He's ready. We're going back to Damien. Second date. Here we go. Excited. Something's wet over there. Like, it's wet. Ugh. I had a lot of fun hanging out with Damien the other day. I wondered what he's up to. I opened up Dad book and started writing him a message when Amanda walks in the door. Dad, you got a letter. Oh, is it from Grandma? No, it's from Damien. Whoa, can I see it? Amanda hands me a piece of old parchment, folded in an envelope and sealed with purple wax. Damn, that dude goes all out. I pry off the seal and unfold the letter. In the most beautiful calligraphy, the letter reads, I can barely read this. Dearest Derek, I hope you'll find my continued correspondence endearing. Rather than trying, one can only hope that my use of slower, more traditional form of communication will showcase my sincere and earnest sentiment that I greatly enjoyed our time together. I write this hastily under a warm embrace of excitement, fearful that I may misstep and speak towards something unwelcome. But now I hope that you might forgive my boldness. I will simply say that your company was greatly occupied by my thoughts, or the afternoon may have been derailed by force unforeseen. Your companionship helped a great deal, not only in the discipline of my child, but in the memorial of my spirit, and for that I thank you. That said, Derek, if you would allow me, it would mean the world to me if I could enjoy more of your time. Perhaps a trip to the cinema followed by a moonlight stroll would be your taste. I eagerly wait your response. With great respect, D. Blood March. Wow. He's good. So, you gonna catch a movie with him? Yeah, I I better message him on Dadbook and let him know. And then I slapped my laptop shut. You have to write him back. A real letter. But my handwriting looks like two toddlers fighting over crayon. Dad, you have to. He wrote you a letter. That's so cool. Will you help me? I need to class this up. Father, I was made for this. Here's what you do. Find tickets to a show that you two will like, then enclose them in the letter. Well, that's classy. Amanda and I hop onto my laptop and pursue showtimes. He doesn't seem like a romantic comedy type of guy. Oh, here's one. Vampire Crusade 2. Evil Never Dies. I don't know, that sounds kind of stupid. Actually, it's critically acclaimed an explanation of the ennui of an existence. It really turns a vampire trope on its head. Really? Nah, there's just a lot of blood and vampire titties. Well, let's roll into the dice. I purchase the tickets and print them out, then sit down at the table with Amanda to try drafting a nice letter. I start writing. Damian. There you go. Good one. What's next? I must confess my amateur writing of the written word. Sure. Jeez, Dad. Have some faith in yourself. Okay, we're trucking along. Let them know how you're feeling. I did very much enjoy the adventure we found ourselves. I'm gonna say this one. Not bad. Good action-y sentence. Ask him to hang out already. True art takes time, Amanda. Well, a strange turn of events, I found myself ignored in the situation at hand. Bring it home, Pops. Let me take you out. I got 2 tickets to the movies. I would very much enjoy your company, accompanying me to the cinema. You saved it there at the end. I'm sure we appreciate your thoroughness. Enclosed, you'll find 2 tickets to the Vampire Crusade 2, Evil Never Dies, which I'm sure you'll find both titillating and enjoyable. Best wishes. My full name, fancier that way. Derek Dog. Is this okay? Amanda reads over my handwriting. Here we go. I do hope this letter finds you good health. I must confess in my amateur control of this written word, as well as my even more amateur penmanship. I did very much enjoy the adventure we found ourselves on the last we met. While a strange turn of events, I found myself enamored of the situation at hand. I would very much enjoy your company, accompanying me to the cinema. Enclosed, you'll find 2 tickets to the Vampire Crusade 2, Evil Never Dies, which I'm sure will find titillating and enjoyable. Best wishes, Derek Dog. He spelled his name wrong. What? Nah, just trying to keep you on your toes. And all you have to do is seal it and put it in his mailbox. Can I seal it with tape? That's not authentic enough. I have an idea. I'll be right back. Mona leaves the room and returns with a candle, a lighter, and a small piece of wood. You gotta have a wax seal. She lights the candle, which starts to burn down and form a metalled wax. What's with the other thing? Amanda pours some of the wax onto the folder letter and expertly presses the small piece of wood into it. She lets it dry for a second and pulls the wood away, revealing, here it is, your sigil. What? Yeah. A little kitten with a bow tie on its head. Awesome. Scrapbooking stuff always comes in clutch. Well, I guess all there is to is delivered to his doorstep now, huh? Oh, I thought we were going to get a carrier pigeon to do it. I already called my guy. I have a pigeon guy. Marcus has the good pigeons. Don't get your pigeon from Anthony. They're no good. I don't want to know if any of this is true. Head outside and walk over to Damian's house. I slip the letter into the slot in his door and go back home. Mission accomplished. Now we're playing the wait game. The night finally rolls around where I was supposed to meet Damian. The next day we had left another beautifully crafted letter thanking me for mine and agreeing to the evening. Amanda helps me pick out a nice outfit, and I show up to the theater a little bit early. It's a chilly night, and the theater is kind of crowded, but it's still nice. How do you do? I jump at the sound of his voice and turn around to see Damian right behind me. He almost gave me a heart attack. How long were you there for? I don't know. I just walked up. My apologies for frightening you. Was that thunder? Is it gonna rain soon? I didn't hear anything. What? What? We got this. The hour goes close. Shall we take our seats in the cinema? I must thank you again for purchasing our tickets. Please allow me to repay the deed in Sour Patch Kids or perhaps Milk Duds. Let's do it. They're so cute. We get in line of buying snacks. As we're waiting, I hear a familiar voice behind us. Ugh, my dad's here. I turn around to find Lucian standing a few feet behind us with a gaggle of other goth kids. Lucian, how nice to see you. I didn't know you were coming to the theater. I'm glad to see you spending some quality time with your friends. Whatever, Dad. And what movie will we be attending to? My friends make me seem some kids' movie talking about animals. I don't really care about it. Well, I hope you do. I hope you do enjoy your evening. We'll be watching Vampire Crusade 2, Evil Never Dies. You? Watching that? Yeah, thought Damien would enjoy it. Ha! Good luck with that, Dad. Lucian rejoins his friends, and I look over to Damien. Good luck with what? It's nothing. My son loves to tease. We wait in line for a little longer, and Damien buys us snacks. He seems a little nervous. I wonder what's wrong. He hates horror movies. Damien and I take our seats and settle in for previews. Glancing at him, I can see that he's sweating profusely and gripping his armrest. Everything's perfectly fine. I'm so excited for this film. I'm a devoted patron of the arts, especially the scary arts. The scarier the art, the better. Do you have a favorite horror movie? I, of course, have a favorite horror movie. Mine is Halloween Town. Terrifying. Oh, interesting. That's odd. I don't seem to remember Halloween Town being that scary. I would have expected him to bring up some sort of strange foreign horror film I'd never heard of. Damon's knuckles are turning white. It looks like he's about to rip the armrest off. Honey, he's already white. Like, wait a second. Damien, are you afraid of horror movies? You must be joking. I love horror movies. The lights dim for the film. Damien screams. I apologize. I was thinking about something far scarier than this movie, which is not scary at all. Aw, Damien, you're not hiding it at all, honey. Oh, you're so cute. I mean, I don't like horror movies either, but, like, I don't scream. I jump a little bit. We settle in as the film starts. I offer Damien some licorice and he takes one. I take note of how much his hands are shaking. The title flashes across the screen in bloody letters, Vampire Crusade 2, Evil Never Dies. A pale man with light, long silver hair, glittering red eyes, and well-oiled abs sits up in a coffin. Sorry. Awaken, my coven. Two more vampires slide the tops of their stone coffins onto the floor. Brother, is it time? Yes, husband, but also mortal enemy. It is time. They look at each other, and then to the camera. For the Vampire Crusade. This rules. The cheer of vampires flies off into the night as foreboding organ music plays in the distance. I somehow get lost in the movie. As dumb as it sounds, it's actually a pretty fun flick. We get to a tense moment of the movie where Romulus Trueblood sits at a truce meeting with the general of the human army, whose wife Romulus has fallen in love with. Romulus, it's good to finally see you. General, I agree. It's good to finally blood you. Bruce leaps out and slashes the general's throat. Blood splatters all over everything, including the camera. Damien screams again, reflexively grasping my hand. I immediately blush, forgetting about any vampires or blood or vampiric blood. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Damien retracts his hand and places it on the back of his lap. I was writing a novel in my head about blood and magic, and I got extremely scary section. Then he goes back to quietly stressing over the movie. It's kind of cute that he won't admit that he's afraid of it. I wish he would hold my hand again. Aw, maybe I could do something to make him feel more comfortable. I've got it. I'll do what dads do. Talk during the movie. Where does a dog go when it loses its tail? Where? To the retail store. I know that last bit a little too loud for a crowd movie theater, but I can see the smile and form on Damien's face. Good one, Derek. You look so... Why is that angry? The rest of the movie goes by relatively smooth, with only a few whimpers from Damien. Maybe he would have liked the romantic comedy better. We get the final scene of the movie, where Romulus Blood and the general, his wife, embrace each other in his crypt. It appears that the true vampire crusade was a vampire crusade in our hearts, our cold, unbeating hearts. Romulus and General's wife begin making out hard. The film fades to black, and the end appears on the screen. But then it hard cuts to Demetrius and his rival lover, Carmela. who watched the two from afar. Oh no, twist ending. Our bloodline has been pure for thousands of years. Romulus has betrayed us by loving a human woman. It would only be a short time before the next Vampire Crusade 3. Evil must die again. More thunder from ominous organs. The movie fades out again, and a bloody question mark now accompanies the end. Damien and I walk out of the movie theater amidst the throngs of chattering moviegoers. He's a little more pale than I remember, but otherwise, he survived the encounter. He seems kind of aggravated. What an interesting film. While the premise of it admittedly struck me as pedestrian, I was intrigued by its harrowing love story and great attention to detail in regards to the vampire lore. Yeah, it was pretty good. A lot more vampire teas than I thought there were going to be. Come, the night is young. Let us take a stroll. Damian's making a point by not telling me where he's taking me. Still, I'm enjoying the walk and the cool night air, and being alone here with Damian is a lot better than being in a crowded theater. Lovely night, isn't it? As lovely as company, yes. He thinks I'm lovely! Damn, okay. Here comes a smooth response. No problem. Crushed it. We both stand there feeling a little awkward. I sure am one smooth operator. Are you getting a little hungry? We could maybe stop off and grab something to eat. No, worry not, friend. I have a plan. We turn the corner and greeted by the gates of a cemetery? What? Are we going in there? A little bit of Victorian flavor, Derek. Trust me. I'm a bit nervous, but Damien hasn't led me wrong yet. I follow his lead as we walk into the cemetery. Statues of angels stare down at us as we follow a path through the faded tombstones. As we crest a small hill, we get a beautiful view of the city. The night lights sparkle around us. I gotta hand it to him. For being a cemetery, this is strangely romantic. Mimicking the graveyard is an old Victorian tradition. An appropriate finish to an evening after a vampire movie, wouldn't you say? With a flourish, Damien produces a blanket and a picnic basket. Wait, where were you hiding that? Under my cloak. Oh, right. Damien unfolds the blanket and we both sit down, gazing out at the city lights. He produces a bottle of red wine and a fine selection of cheeses. The Victorian era, there were no public art galleries, parks, or botanical gardens to speak of. Once rural gardens, graveyards became a more popular alternative to church burials. They became the only place that people could see beautiful plant life and fine sculptures. That makes sense. This is pretty nice. I have a question, though. How are you so okay with being in a graveyard, but you have trouble handling a scary movie? I wasn't. He sighs deeply. Okay, yes, I was scared me scared by that movie. I was not writing a book about blood magic in my head. I just have never been good at those. I just feel as if, because of how I look and act, people expect me to love horror films, so I must play the part. Truth be told, I don't know if I have the constitution for them at times. Damien, I'm so sorry. If I had known, I would have suggested another movie. It's quite alright. I actually did find myself enjoying this one, thanks to your help. Graveyards, however, I think there's something rather beautiful about death. Cemeteries are traditionally built away from cities, away from the real realm of the living, and it keeps us rather separated from it. To acknowledge death and become comfortable with it, I think gives us a certain intimate knowledge of ourselves. To sit amongst generations of those who came before us is truly alive in the midst of so much death. It brings me great comfort. Death helps me appreciate life, to savor every second. Sorry if I'm talking really fast. We sit and enjoy our food and wine. I don't feel scared anymore. Never thought I'd be comfortable sitting alone in a graveyard, but I actually feel very peaceful. Suddenly, it doesn't seem like we're alone. Off in the distance, I see a shadowy figure in the trees. What is that? I'm not sure. It noticed us. I'm paralyzed with fear as it begins lumbering slowly towards us. Its shape taking more like an animal form, more feral. I look to Damien for help, but he's just as afraid as transfixed as I am. I want to scream, but stuck in my throat. The creature is getting closer, moving faster. Woof! Oh. It's a dog. As it finally comes into the light, the friendliest, dumbest-looking Boston Terrier I've ever seen pulls its owner towards us. The dog trots over to Damien and sniffs his hands. Damien looks ecstatic. He ruffles the dog's fur happily. What a beautiful dog. Hey. We both look up, not expecting to see. Thanks. Robert, what are you doing out here on this lovely evening? Hunting cryptids. What? What? I didn't know you had a dog. This isn't my dog. I found her wandering in the street. Put a leash on her, and now we're walking around this graveyard together. Hunting cryptids. And Damien and I share a look. May I give her a treat? Sure. Wouldn't give her cheese, though. Not to worry. Damien reaches into the depths of his cloak and procures a small dog treat. What else is he keeping in there? The dog laps up the treat and crunches away. Tail wagging furiously, Damien continues to smooth down her fur. Thanks. My absolute pleasure. Damien shakes the dog's paw. Lovely to meet you, my friend. May our paths cross again. Robert and his dog disappear into the darkness again. Damien stares after them. I didn't know you liked dogs. Victorians love dogs, actually. Most Victorians women of high fashion would always be accompanied by a small dog such as a terrier or a Maltese. I, think big dogs are nice, too. Yeah, man, dogs are cool. I do believe we've had enough excitement for one night. What do you say we make our way home? Damien hops to his feet and extends a hand to me. To help me up. I gladly take it, as my knees aren't what they used to be. He packs his picnic basket and leads us to the graveyard. Leads us out of the graveyard as we begin to walk home. I take one last look at the cemetery. It's really beautiful. Like a proper gentleman, Damien walks me to my doorstep. Thank you ever so kindly for your company tonight. Damien, it was my pleasure. Derek, if you'll allow me, it would bring me great joy to offer you a token of my affection. He reaches into his cloak and pulls out a folded, monogrammed handkerchief. He presses it to my hand. Wow, thank you, Damien. I don't know. A noble propose. Aww, it's so cute. Damien shuffles his feet. I just want to say that it's rare to find someone like you. Someone who's open to my eccentricities. It's nice to feel so accepted. Thank you. Damien gives my hand a quick squeeze. Damien blushes and hastily retracts his hand. I must take my leave. Good night. Before I can say anything else, he's gone. Unlock the door and step inside. Like a whirlwind, Amanda runs from the window and plops down on the couch, trying to look nonchalant. Hey, Dad, what's up? Were you watching me from the window? No, I was just... Okay, yes. How was the movie? Lots of vampire titties. Told you. But as it turns out, Damien is Wait, Amanda doesn't need to know that. I'll keep it in between me and Damien. Scary cool. Yeah, he's so cool it's scary. Nice save, Derek. Did you know that graveyards used to be a place to throw parties? I think I'm misremembering that. Wow, that's pretty punk. Also, we saw a dog. Definitely thought it was a werewolf for a minute, though. How can you be so sure it wasn't a werewolf? How can you be so sure that I'm not a werewolf? And how can you be so sure and how can I be so sure that you're not a werewolf? Minna's eyes narrow. I don't trust you. Nor I. You. You make intense, wary eye contact for a second. Anyway, I'm calling it for the night. Don't stay up too late, will ya? I'll try not to howl at the moon past midnight. You're a bad werewolf. Jesus. Did we get an S? I hope we get an S. Darkness, vampire, rom-com. Wait, what's the other ones? Respect and Mandels. Yes. I like when we get like A's or S, not A's, S's on our things because that means we did good. Well, it's been a long day. I'm just ready to about pack in. After a few bites of ice cream from the freezer, I turn off all the lights and walk down the hall to my room. I wonder if Amanda's still awake. That kid needs some sleep. As I pass her room, I can hear a faint sound, but I can't quite make out what it is. I get a little closer. Is she crying again? I knock gently on the door. Hey, Amanda? The crying immediately stops. Not right now. Her voice sounds like strange. She sniffles. I need to make sure she's okay. I open the door. In the dark, I can see Amanda's outline in the middle of her bed, knees hugged up to her body. Is everything okay? I don't want to talk about it. Did something happen? No! Nothing happened. Go away. Alright. I'll leave you be. I back out of the room and close the door gently behind me. She immediately starts crying again. Wow, I have no idea what has her so upset. She seemed totally normal. I feel awful, just leaving her to cry, but I also get the feeling that if I try to do anything else, it would only make her more upset. I can't stop mentally cycling through all the sorts of awful things she could be dealing with right now. More than anything, I just want her to be happy and safe. I have a hard time falling asleep, but when I finally do, I'm still thinking about Amanda. After a long night of very little sleep, I roll out of bed and make myself a pot of coffee. Amanda should be up for school soon. Maybe she'll be willing to talk about whatever's bothering her. About 10 minutes before she's supposed to leave, Amanda comes out of her room and makes a beeline for the freezer. Morning, Amanda. Morning. She drops her frozen waffle into the toaster and slams the freezer door. She won't look at me. Yikes. So, anything big going on at school today? No. Okay. Do you need a ride to school? No. Want some coffee? Amanda pulls the toaster lever up and takes her still freezer-burned waffle out before it's finished cooking. I have to go. Amanda picks up her bag and storms out. Oh, okay. I haven't seen her act like this in a long time. It's usually short-lived, but it always hurts. Hopefully this blows over and things go back to normal soon. I sit back at the kitchen table looking at a picture of Amanda hanging onto a wall. In it, I'm teaching her to ride a bike. Her face is a mixture of excitement and pure, unadulterated fear. I remember how determined she was. Every time she would fall off and scrape her knees, she would always get up and try again. Finally, I had to stop her because she was bleeding everywhere. Then she started crying because she didn't think she needed bandages and wanted to keep trying. As I put the bike away, she stood in the middle of the street and screamed. Then I looked at her for ice cream. It was like nothing ever happened. Even if, after giving it a bit of thought, I decided that if I forced her to talk about it, I'm only gonna make things worse. But I have an idea. I started wondering through the ingredients. I hear Amanda walk in the door. Instead of heading for the kitchen, like she usually does, she's making a beeline for her room. She's clearly trying to avoid me. Hey, Pumpkin. What? Can you come here for a sec? There's a moment of silence. Yeah. I want to say I'm sorry about last night. I'm just worried about you, kiddo. I get scared when I know something's wrong, and I get even more scared when I feel like I can't do anything about it. Dad, So just, whatever it is, and you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but whatever it is, just know that you have a dad in your corner who wants you to be happy. Honey, you know I'm bad with words, so I was hoping I could speak in a language we both understand. I pull a cake out of the refrigerator and place it on the table. Hopefully the frosting has set by now. Ta-da! Dad. It took me a really long time because I ran out of red frosting and somewhere around sad. And I had to start over. And this is beautiful. Well, thank you guys. I gotta go again. I'm gonna make a third one because, I can.